No, that's it. No, I can't do this. This is not worth revisiting. Not at all. Not for $1 million. I don't care if you're going to pay me $1 million to replay this whole thing again. No, I can't do it, okay? It was bad enough the first time, okay? No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. There's a lot of things I could do to this game. But you know what? I'm thinking I should exchange this for a much better game. I don't know. Oh! Huh? Wow. Thanks, Kirby. Seriously, Pikachu, why can't you be more like Kirby? Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another video game review. This time is going to be on Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I know this game originally came out in March. I'm a little late on this review, but I started playing this game last week and I just finished the story. Well, didn't just finish it because I just woke up. I actually finished it last night, but anyways, I'm reviewing it now. But anyways, this is, I think, Kirby's very first full 3D adventure because most of his adventures are usually side-scrolling. I mean, sure, Kirby and the Crystal Shards for Nintendo 64 was in like a 2.5D style, but it wasn't fully 3D. Like, you couldn't go like 360 or anything like that, just in one specific angle. But this is a full 3D environment for Kirby. And in this game, he's pretty much doing what he mostly does. Rescue captured creatures known as Waddle Dees. And throughout your adventure, you get various abilities throughout your adventure in 6 different worlds with many levels to explore and challenges to do, so you can upgrade your abilities and stuff like that. If you're familiar with the Kirby series, then I think you know exactly what you're going to be in for, except it's not 2D this time. But I have played some Kirby games in the past. I actually have played Kirby's Adventure for the NES on the NES Switch thing. And I actually have played Kirby's Epic Yarn, and Kirby's Epic Yarn is probably the first video game I've ever beaten, although I'm not really sure that necessarily counts because in that game you couldn't even die. Like, there was no game over screen, like literally no game over screen. When you take damage, you just lose beads. But I think that's probably the only Kirby game where you couldn't actually die. I've also played Kirby and the Crystal Shards, but I've heard this game was pretty well received. His last game for the Nintendo Switch wasn't that well received. It got like mixed reviews from critics and fans alike, but critics and fans are really enjoying this game, and I really enjoyed it too. As someone who wasn't fully big into the Kirby series, I mean, I have played some of the Kirby games like I mentioned before. It's just, I don't really think the Kirby series is nearly as memorable as the Mario or the Zelda series in my opinion, but hey, I have fun with the Kirby games, and there's a lot to enjoy about this game. For one thing is it's very colorful, and its 3D environments are absolutely stunning. Even though the game runs at 30 FPS, I feel like there is a lot that this world has to offer in terms of its graphics. Although, it's kind of weird because though the main game is 30 FPS, the menus are 60 FPS sometimes. Like, that's kind of confusing. I mean, if Mario Odyssey could be 60 FPS, why couldn't this game? Because there are Nintendo Switch games that run at 60 FPS. I don't know. It's just, it was kind of distracting, and there are some frame rate issues, at least from my experience. I'm not sure if anybody else, I'm sure others have as well. But really what this game is going for is the abilities that you can get, and the fact that you can upgrade them with blueprints that you can find, so you can upgrade them like 2 or 3 times, possibly even more. From what I know of, that you upgrade them, the highest is like the 3rd time you upgrade them, or the 2nd time, because there's the first the first phase, second, and third phase, and you're going to need them when you fight off against bosses, which, by the way, this has some really surprisingly fun bosses, especially the final boss. I thought they did a really great job with the final boss, and I'm not going to spoil anything here, but it's probably one of the best I played in a 3D platformer. And this game has some familiarities to Mario games, 3D Mario games, specifically Mario 3D World and Mario Odyssey. Like, combine those two games together. Though this doesn't have nearly as much levels as Mario 3D World or Mario Odyssey, though Mario Odyssey was more open. And the main game itself didn't take me a whole long time to beat, probably like 6 hours. But there is end game content once you do beat the story, which I think is pretty cool. I actually started playing the extra bonus game content, like the pre-game stuff. Anyways, you can also play this game cooperatively. I haven't played cooperatively because I'm mostly a solo person, but I'm sure it'll be pretty fun to play with a second player. Like I mentioned before, there's also treasure challenges that you can do, so you can get treasures, and you're going to need these treasures in order for you to upgrade your ability. Sure, there's like these currencies that you get when playing these levels, but the main thing you're going to need to get is these treasures with these treasure challenges. And they're not too challenging. I mean, there's star ratings for how difficult they are, but the difficulty lies in whether you choose to play in the easiest difficulty or the sort of easy difficulty, because there's two difficulty settings, but they're not like super challenging. I mean, this game isn't too hard. Like, in my playthrough, I didn't die a single time. Even when I replayed some of the levels, even during the bosses, I didn't die a single time. And there are times where you refight the bosses at some parts, and there are like these mini bosses throughout some levels. What's also really cool is that these levels are actually very replayable if you want to get like all the Waddle Dees and stuff like that, because there are a lot of Waddle Dees to help out and try and save. And I mean it. There's like 10 in each level, like 10 or 7, 11 to 7 in each level. Also, there are times where you can like morph into different stuff, like vehicles. You can like transform into a car or a staircase or a traffic cone, and it was all just really, really cool to see, and kind of disturbing at the same time, given how Kirby gets damaged and is like in the shape of a car with his full body, with his entire body like eating the car and just moving the car. It kind of looks pretty painful, if I do say so myself. Like I mentioned before, there are a lot of abilities that you can use. Like, there's some gun abilities, pretty surprising for a kid's game. And there are also some abilities that I don't really feel like were completely useful. Like the first time you use like the spike ability that you can roll around with, I don't really feel like it was that useful until you started to upgrade it. And there's this sleep ability. Like, the very first time I used the sleep ability, it's bad, okay? It has no purpose whatsoever, but it starts having more of a purpose once you start to upgrade it. I didn't upgrade it, but I really didn't feel like it was necessary. It's supposed to like boost your health or something like that. It's supposed to regain your health, but there's so much food throughout the levels that and you get food so you can restore your health. And I don't know, you're not going to need it. Like, there are some very useless abilities, but some very useful ones too, and most of them are useful. And the more Waddle Dees you collect, the more you can build up the Waddle Dee town, so you can do like other challenges and stuff like Boss Rush, or get these like figures that you can collect throughout your journey. It's all pretty cool, and I'm not sure if it has much of a purpose. I guess they're fun to collect, and this is a game that is pretty fun to try in 100% the entire thing. And while it definitely isn't a hard game, it is pretty challenging to try and 100% every single thing. Like, I try to, but I don't think I ever will be able to, because I try 100% in games, but there are times where I feel like it's just never going to happen. But it certainly is still fun to try and do such thing. But in the end, guys, I had a really fun time with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. While the story is pretty short, there is still bonus stuff that you can do throughout your journey. And despite the fact that it runs at 30 FPS, it's still a very colorful and gorgeous looking experience, and it truly is one of the most fun platformers on the Nintendo Switch right now. If you're a longtime Kirby fan, I feel like this game is not going to disappoint. I'm glad critics are enjoying it. I'm glad fans are enjoying it as well. While it's not quite Game of the Year for me, and there's still a lot of Switch games coming out that might top it. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I heard is supposed to come out in July, so we'll see. But for right now, this is one of the best Switch games I played this year. I think we can all agree that this is one of the best Kirby games in a really long time, because Kirby, despite the fact that he's one of the most iconic Nintendo characters, hasn't gotten a fully big rep in the modern gaming industry. But hey, it's great to see that Nintendo's giving love for the little guy with this game, especially since his 30th anniversary was not too long ago. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.